Hello, this is Obelisk speaking, doing a One Piece chapter review, 981. First off, we start off with the cover page. Pretty nice cover page. It's themed on music, so I was looking to see if there's any hints of future fights, but I'll decompose that later. For starters, we start off with Kid's fight with Apu, and Apu seems to be missing some teeth, and Kid looks pretty good, and we see the kids fighting Apu, and you see Queen's face is just hilarious. He's like, "Oh, I thought there was no problem here." Like, yep. And Apu lays down some knowledge. He tells us that he was naive to think that forming an alliance was gonna tip the scale against an emperor, because that's how overpowered they are. They're just like alliance won't work on them. Either you are an emperor or you're not. Period. So it's pretty much, I think it's hinting to their defeat here, too. And also to Big Mom and Kaido's alliance. But then again, Big Mom and Kaido go way back. They were part of the same crew. So I kind of see like, think about it as Zoro and Sanji's dynamic, where they have like this animosity against each other. And if, like, say the crew would one day separate, would they try to kill each other in the future? Probably not. And we see Kid taking a hit from Apu, but he just like shrugs it off and calls him trash. And Queen gives the order to kill him. And we finally get to see a number. And finally get to see a number here. And Kid mentions that they look bigger than giants. So the numbers appear to be their own race here. Oni race probably. And he's big. And he has the name Hachacha. So to me are they number based? Probably number based. So this would be the 8th because Hachi I think is 8. And you see him smash like he appears to be drunk, so he's probably not even trying to beat Kid or anything. And also we finally see Apu back in action. And we also see the funny dynamic, like Zoro, Luffy, and Kid are pretty much the same personality. They're just like hotheads. And Killer calls them what they are, a bunch of idiots. And then we see that Apu just got nerfed. He has a major weakness, and unclear how Killer knows about this, but he knows about it. And he's telling us that as long as you don't hear Apu's sound, it won't affect you. So that's a pretty big nerf, like a massive nerf. Like, I wonder if an awoken form would negate that nerf, or incorporating Haki. Sorry about that. And we see people dissing on Kid for taking a smile fire, and Kid just take it, like, causing explosions. And we see who's who is not interested in them. He's just interested in Yamato and getting that ticket to be able to fight whoever he wants. And the way they talk here is like, it almost seems like they're trying to kill each other, but I think they're talking about two different people. Like, I think who's aiming for King, probably. And I also think that Queen is aiming for X Drake, because he probably thinks he's a traitor. That's my theory. And then we see they're still in the planet. They're still trying to flank Kaido. Like, god damn it, how is this gonna work? Like, you surround Kaido and then what? Then what? What do you do? How do you beat him? He's a Yonko. So I think it's kind of dumb. And Oda's also showing the plan, so this ain't gonna work out for them. We see the Pleasure District, and we also find out that Black Marie is the head of the Pleasure District, which is expected and not expected. I didn't expect her to be the head of the Pleasure District, but whatever. And we see Sanji getting all hot-headed. Oh, it's Sanji. And we also see that Sanji sees something he probably shouldn't have seen. And that something is a nude Big Mom, which Nothing against Big Woman, but that is not a sight to behold. And we see that once again it's Chopper and Big Mom. So unclear why Oda's doing this dynamic here. I don't know, he's probably trying to aim for something with this dynamic. But Big Mom is just staring down at Chopper in the tank. So it's pretty much Chopper and Usopp versus naked Big Mom. So there's no way Sanji is coming anywhere near that. So they're on their own. Which is probably going to be a pretty hilarious fight. If Big Mom decides to fight naked. And also the confusing part of this, in previous chapters stated that the Big Mom children were already there. And now we're hearing that they're not there. They're barely gonna get up the riverfall. So I'm confused to what's going on here. Did the other Big Mom children get there through the mirror wall? And these are barely gonna make it in. So it's Perorine climbing the waterfall and complaining why isn't there a better way to go in to Wano, which there is underneath the waterfall through the elevator. And we also see them, they're not they're like Smoothie is just like, Mom decides, we follow, and everyone else says we've got to get Luffy and like kill him. So we'll see how that works out. And we see the biggest point of this chapter, and that is Marco. Unclear as to why he's here. Well, I have some theories, but Marco the Phoenix has arrived, and it seems he hints that he came just because he found out that Big Mom and Kaido made an alliance. Unclear how he found this out, because only the, how would you say, the government, the Navy knew about this because they had their phones tapped. So unclear how he found out, unless he has someone on the inside in the Navy. So we see him here and just pretty much repeat the same thing that King did. Send him back, and we see Nekomamushi and Izo, I think. Kiko's brother. Well, they're both guys, so yeah. So they're coming up in the ship. So my question is, if Izo's there, is Diamante Jozo and the other rest of the Whitebeards pirates there? And if so, it's probably gonna be a good fight. Well, there's gonna be a lot of fights. So now the obvious fight here is like Marco versus King, but that's just too obvious, and I don't think Oda doesn't like to do the obvious. So unclear who Marco's gonna fight, especially now that he's a solid healer. Like there was previous chapters, like in the Reverie, where it stated that he could heal people temporarily, not permanently. It's like temporarily. It doesn't actually, if I recall correctly, it doesn't heal him completely. Just temporarily relieves the pain. Something similar to what Ivanko does with her hormones things, I think. So this is pretty interesting with Marco here, and there's gonna be no break, so that's pretty good. And I don't know, Marco here, like, what happened to Weevil? Wasn't he gonna wait for Weevil? Did Weevil actually get low diffed by the Marines? Oh my god, Weevil was no good. So Marco's here, so is that foreshadowing for something? And he says something very confusing. The next time you show up, the times may have moved on a bit more than before. So he's probably talking about the eras. When Whitebeard died, the eras changed. And now he's referring to the chimes, the era changing once again, but he's stating that a bit more than before. So whatever happens in this arc is going to be so monumental that it's going to be a bigger era change than the Whitebeard death. So there's going to be whole new players, whole new power, people in power, potentially new Yonkos. But then again, is Big Mom and Kaido really going to get defeated here? I don't think so. Well, that's it. If you watched, thanks for watching. Have a nice one. Thank you very much.